I'm Erin. I'm 38 years old. I'm originally from upstate New York, and now I live here in Raleigh, North Carolina. I love teaching students and mentoring students in research. Those are the two big things I do. I teach in biology and environmental science.
From the time she was really young, she was on the quiet side, but a great observer.
Well, I mean, she's a strong, beautiful woman. We met in graduate school.
Marcelo is a prince of a son-in-law. I could not have ever wished for anyone better for Erin.
She did research in Costa Rica. I was from Costa Rica, so we had that in common from the beginning. So, I mean, in some ways, I knew she was the one from when I met her.
We got married in Costa Rica. I was still living down there, and he was finishing his research down there. And we got married on top of a mountain with views of the Pacific Ocean, and with a big waterfall flowing below us and forest all around.
So it was beautiful. We had this beautiful backdrop. We had the scarlet macaws flying over the place of the ceremony, and to us that was great because scarlet macaws are couples for life. You have two and then they are together for forever, so that was for us a good omen.
It was one of my happiest days of my life. The birth of my children have been the other happiest days, but it was just a beautiful sight. It was perfect for us.
I think back to what I felt for her then, to how much I love her now and how much our love has grown. It's like I loved her a lot then, but it's not nearly compared to what it is now. Well, so I love kids, and I've always loved kids, and I think Erin has always said that was one of the things that she liked about me.
Amaya Gray, her middle name comes from a glacier in Patagonia. She was born in 2009, so she's 4.5 years old. And she is high energy, talkative, loves to put on plays, and loves to be around people.
Amaya was getting older, and so we decided that we wanted to have a second child as a way to have somebody to keep Amaya company.
When we found out it was going to be a boy, I was really excited because I had never had a son. And I was thinking, oh, this will be great to get to experience a little boy growing up, not having had a son myself. Although that pregnancy was not so easy. Nothing fit any of our understanding of what was normal.
From the beginning, she was having bleeding and pain and complications.
And I did some genetic testing because I'm a bit older, and it's a new test, a blood test, and it came back with him having several chromosomal abnormalities. But then after an amnio, he looked completely normal, and in the ultrasounds he looked completely normal. So they didn't know why I had unusual genetic material in me.
So Jackson was born on October 4th, 2012. Everything up to that point had been very stressful. When we went to the hospital, I, in some ways, was scared that here I was going with two of them, and I was scared that I was maybe going to come back by myself. When Jax was finally born and he was healthy and Erin was fine, it was just like this amazing, feeling of that, after all of these months that everything seemed to be going wrong, everything was okay, and Jax was going to be okay, and Erin was going to be okay.
I remember them all in the room, and I remember just kind of everything going quiet.
I felt like just the air had been sucked out of the room, and I know that Erin has a high tolerance for pain, and so for her to be in this much pain, I knew it was serious. But they didn't really tell us anything, and I guess it was Saturday morning when they came in, they told us that they had found some tumors in her pelvis.
I think my brain stopped before I even took in everything that they said. It was in the morning, and I was in the hospital bed. I couldn't move. They didn't want me to move because of the pelvic fractures. And I was still in my hospital gown. And Jax, our son, was in the hospital crib. When they told me I had cancer, there were probably 4 or 5 doctors at different levels in there staring at me while I was sitting on the bed. And then knowing my 3-year-old daughter was about to come for a visit, it was pretty overwhelming.
They told us this, and like an hour later, my dad and Sherry, my mother-in-law, and Amaya, my daughter, were coming to visit and to meet their new grandchild. And Erin and I agreed that I was going to take Amaya away so that she could tell my dad and her mom. I remember just taking Amaya down to the hospital. In the children's hospital, they had this little ball thingies going on, and taking her down there so she could see it. And I don't know, just the fear of everything, the unknown. And of course Amaya was all into the balls in the little sculpture, but I couldn't really pay that much attention. And I wanted to tell her something, but I didn't really know what to tell her at that time.
And we had to tell my mom and my father-in-law that I had cancer of some kind, but we had not much information at that time. My mom just broke down, and she's like, I'm here for my grandson, but I can't even look at him right now because I'm so concerned about you, and you're my daughter. And so she just sat by my side and held my hand.
It was such a mixed blessing, and so hard to pair cancer with the birth of Jackson. Overwhelmed at what the future might bring for all of us.
I'm a really prideful, stoic woman, or at least I was. Cancer has really changed me that way, and I never used to like to accept help, and I wanted to do things on my own. I was very independent, and cancer quickly taught me that I had to focus on myself, which was not my #1 priority before that. My children were, and my husband, and my job, and that was really hard when you have an infant child and then a 3-year-old who's just growing and changing daily.
I tend to worry about things, and I tend to worry about financial things. We were spending so much time at home that we were doing the cleaning ourselves, and it was just one more thing to do in addition to getting the kids to daycare so that I could go to work, so that Erin could go to treatment. And so having the extra help with the extra cleanings with the help of the Helene Foundation was one less thing that we had to worry about. There's so much uncertainty. There's so many things we don't know. Is the treatment going to work? Is this going to be covered by insurance? Is Erin going to be able to work in 3 months and 6 months? So the fact that the Helene Foundation helped us pay for the daycare for our kids for a while was great, because it was one less source of uncertainty. And these people that we had not met, these people that were willing to give us a helping hand and provide us some certainty and some security in a very uncertain time.
The Helene Foundation is clearly making a real difference in many families' lives and the quality of their life together. Once a traumatic event like cancer happens to the family, they help give time to the family to just be a family.
In my life, I certainly felt, and still do, as I'm still in treatment, the most needy when I've had cancer, and I will be pretty needy since I have terminal cancer for probably the rest of my life. So having a foundation like the Helene Foundation who supports a mother who has young children, who is trying to spend as much time with their children and take care of their children, and have support on top of that, even when you do have family and friends supporting you, that financial support, and knowing that there are people out there that care for you that didn't even meet you, but just because of your situation want to help support you, has been so important. And probably just getting to know this foundation has been one of the best things that have come out of my cancer.